welcome Debra Brennan Tagg.
Last summer, I went to go pick up my daughter and her friend. They go to an all-girls school. And they had been at a bowling event with some boys from their brother's school, and the pickup point, for whatever reason, was a grocery store parking lot. And so I picked them up, they get in the car, usual rundown, was it fun? Did you talk to anybody? Did you talk to any boys? And as we're driving away, I see in the distance, there's one of those grocery carts, you know, the one with that like toddler, the big red plastic toddler thing on the front. And the boys are swarming all over it. And I said, what is going on over there? And the girls were very clear. They're like, those boys. Two are in the toddler part, two are in the basket part, two are hanging outside, two are hanging off the front in a parking lot with cars all around. And I'm driving and I said, those are the people who are going to be making 20% more than you in 10 years. Money equals choice, equals power, equals opportunity. It always has and it always will. But women have this pesky little issue when it comes to financial planning, and it is the wage gap. The wage gap is not a women's issue. The wage gap is a human issue. But we know the data, right? We know all the data. Women are moving up in leadership. We're joining boards. We're getting more degrees than men. But we are still scheduled to go 3 to 4 decades before we are at parity with men in the way of income. Is that okay with you? Because that's not okay with me. The good news about today is that all structures are up for grabs. Everything is ready for disruption, and I am really ready to disrupt an outlook that makes absolutely no sense to me. Absolutely no sense to me. When we think about women, we think about the fact that they want to live their lives, the lives that they want. You know how the story goes with financial planning, right? Financial planning for women. Women get told this: you're going to live longer, which means you're going to live alone, which means you're going to die alone, and you're never going to make as much money as the men. I'm ready to change the entire structure today by teaching women one simple skill, and that is negotiation. In this industry, we have patted women on the head for long enough. I have been doing this for 20 years. I've come to conferences like this, and I have been told to show women pictures, tell them stories, ask about their children. Everyone loves to talk about their children. Do you know what fixes a financial plan? Money. Money fixes a financial plan. So let's start talking about money. Men are not smarter about money. Money has no gender. Men are not smarter in any way about money. Now, they might be more comfortable talking about it. They might be more comfortable asking for more of it. In fact, I would say that they are. And it's probably on their chore list. But they are not smarter about money. In our office, we talk to our clients about using their money to have the lives that they want. Am I really doing a good job for my client if I know that she's not making as much money as she could be making? We know how financial planning works. It's a lifetime of decisions made, each one standing on the shoulders of the previous one. Should we wait until our clients get in their 60s and 70s and have them say, oh, I wish I had. I wish I probably could have asked for more. Kind of wish I'd done that. No! Wouldn't it be better if we talked to women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s and said to them, this is how you can ask for more. This is what you can do with your money. In our process, it's called the DBT 360. And we stand right in the middle of our clients' lives with them. And we look out on all sides. We look at their resources. We look at their risks. We look at their opportunities. We lay out a beautiful financial plan for them, and then we try to figure out what's going to trip them up along the way. My client's income should be a resource. But what if it's a risk? Now we have to talk about something. It's going to make me the least popular person in the room, and I'm totally cool with that. According to the Department of Labor and the Pew Research Center, one of the big problems with the wage gap is us. We don't ask for the opportunities that we can have. Anybody know the industry that has the largest wage gap? Anyone? Financial advisors. No joke. According to the Department of Labor, financial advisors have the largest wage gap. Female advisors make 56 cents on the dollar for what men make. Is that okay with you? Ladies, we need to lead this effort. We as women, we as financial advisors, we as trusted resources, we need to be the ones to do this. So this was kind of going in my head. I'm a root of the cause person. And I called one of my friends, Melissa. She's an attorney. She's also a fearless negotiator. And I called her and I said, it's really killing me. I know all this information. I don't know what to do about it. I feel like I need to do something about it, but I don't know anything about negotiation. And Melissa said, hold up. You have a husband, you have children, you have a team, you have a robust client family. What about that does not involve negotiation? And the thing is that Melissa has a point. So we got to work and we designed an event. We brought in a panel of experts. We obviously started with Melissa, the fearless negotiator. We brought in a male negotiator, that is his actual job. He doesn't even call himself an attorney, he's a male negotiator. And we brought in a VP of human resources from a large corporation in Dallas. And so we taught women how to negotiate. And I'm going to bring to you today the 5 best practices that they presented. Now, I'm going to talk to you about being an employee. This is also true for anybody who is self-employed, owns a business, needs to go for a big opportunity, needs to go for a big sale, wants to launch a new product. The idea is still the same. We start by knowing our facts. Very first thing. You cannot start a negotiation if you do not know your facts. So if you're an employee, you have to know why you're getting paid what you're getting paid. You have to know who else is getting paid more than you in your company and why that is. You have to know what others in your industry are getting paid. You have to know what others in other industries doing your same job, what they are getting paid and why they're getting paid something different. You need to know how your employer makes decisions and when they make decisions. If the decisions are made in October company-wide, you don't want to show up in September and go, I'd like a little more. You need to start that conversation in June. You need to know absolutely everything so that you don't walk in and go, I'd like to make some more money. My friend Jane came to me. She's my actual friend. Her name is not actually Jane. My friend Jane came to me and she said, I just feel like I should make more money. Do you think I make enough money? And I said, I don't know, Jane. I don't know anything about how much you make. So she told me how much she made. I said, that sounds fine. And she said, but I feel like I should make more money. I said, okay, Jane, whatever. I said, how much more do you think that you need to make? She said, I think that I should make 2x. I was like, 2x? That's a lot. Can you really make that? And she said, well, I've actually been doing some research, and I know that people in my industry, with my experience, some of them are making 2x. I know I'm really good at my job, and I would like to make that. It's really important to my family. And I said, if it's important and you think you can do it, let's have a conversation about it. Step number 2, you have to be clear. You have to be clear what you want, you have to be clear in your mind why you want it, and you have to be clear how you want it delivered. For Jane, it was really important to her to make 2x. She knew she could and she knew she should. It was also important to her that she maintain flexibility for her family. So she has kids, she wanted to be able to be there, she's got parents, she wanted to be able to be there. She was not going to work a 9-to-5 job. She was okay to work 60 hours a week and travel. She just was not going to work a 9-to-5 job. You have to know what you're asking for. All of this is part of a financial plan. I've had clients who say, I'm making enough money. You know what I want to do? I want to travel. Or I'd like to have a position overseas. Or I would like a bigger opportunity at work. Or I'd like to be able to manage more people. I don't think anybody actually says that, but maybe some people actually say that. So you have to be clear what you want. You have to be clear in your heart why you want it, and you have to know how you want that delivered. Then you have to stay in control. Here's the super hard part. You have to start the conversation. It's the way to stay in control of a negotiation is that you start. Everybody know how an anchor works? You take an anchor and you throw it over the side of the boat, and it goes zip all the way to the bottom, and then the boat just kind of hovers over the top. It's a way to negotiate successfully. You anchor the conversation in what you want. So you say, I want 2x, or I want to move to London, or I want to be able to travel, or I want to know my path up. You make it very, very clear that you want something more than what is going on now. And you make it clear why it is important to you because you know that it is part of your financial plan, part of your life plan. For Jane, it took a while for her to lift the anchor. We had many, many, many conversations, and I said, did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you do it? And she hadn't done it. It was a scary thing for her to do. Finally, Jane took the anchor and threw it overboard. And she said to her employer, I want 2X. And you know what he said? What are you, nuts? That's not a normal thing to ask for. If one of my team members came to me and said, I want 2X, I would say, what are you, nuts? I would say, I feel like I pay you a fair wage. What do you mean you want 2X? That's a huge ask. But Jane started the conversation, and it was no in the beginning, but she made it very clear, and she stuck with it. Now, no is just the beginning. This one came to us from the male negotiator. And it was hilarious to me. He said, no doesn't mean no. Oh, no, that's just their tactic. But if I want yes, and they start with no, I now know what the game is. I know how I need to fill in the middle. Here's my yes, and maybe there's a different version of yes that I could handle, but I know how I need to get them from no to yes. So this one is really hard. If the answer is just no, you need to start asking questions. Why not? When can it change? How can it get better? Why'd you say no? What else do I need? Do I need experience? Do I need a credential? Why are they getting paid more than I am? You need to start asking those questions so that you are actually figuring out, am I still in a negotiation? And you also have to realize that if the answer is no, which it may very well be, you have to be ready to go. Because you have asked for this, not because you just wanted more money. You asked for this because it's part of your financial plan. It's something that's going to make you happier. It's going to make your family happier, more fulfilled. It's what you want to be doing. So if it really is part of your financial plan and the answer is no, you just can't have it, you have to find another way to get there. Now, once you've done everything and you got from no to yes, you have to commit. And this one came to me from Melissa, the fearless negotiator. And she said, if you get the big number, a lot of times things come along with it. It's going to be things like you might have to work 60 hours a week, or you might have to answer an email at 10 o'clock at night. And if that's not okay with you, you have to know that. But if you took the money and that was part of the deal, you have to be ready for it. You have to be really ready to commit. The other piece of it is if you commit, if you win a negotiation, you get that raise, and then you ask, and then you wind up being as awesome as you can possibly be, you can then ask for more. You're gonna find mentorship. You're gonna find people who wanna lead you along. And then it sets you up for the next negotiation. Money equals choice, equals power, equals opportunity. It always has, and it always will. Do we really want to wait for 3 to 4 decades for my daughter to make as much money as the boys in the shopping cart? I would say no. I would say that the time is now, that we need to make sure that women are getting paid all that they should get paid, that they are achieving what they should be able to achieve, that they can take care of their families the way that they want to, they can take care of themselves the way that they want to, and that they can build wealth the way that they should be able to build wealth. As I was preparing for this talk, I called Jane and I said, we'd had these conversations a couple years ago, and then I kind of didn't want to keep prying about your income, and so I didn't really know how everything went, and I'm wondering, did it actually work? Was it actually successful? And she said, it's so funny that you call because I've been meaning to call you and tell you that it did absolutely work. Very recently. I've been working on it for 2 years, but it worked. And I got to 2X. And I got from no to yes. And my family is now doing things that we were not previously able to do, spending and saving in ways that we really had hoped for a long time, but we couldn't. She also said, the other thing that's important to me is that I'm really able to do just my job well, because I don't have to worry about this anymore. I can just go be awesome. I love what I do, and I'm so happy that I can keep doing it. And even more than that, I feel like I'm getting paid what I'm worth. Can you imagine what we could do for society if we helped a generation of Janes get paid what they are worth? Do you understand the change that that could make across society and across the economy? Now, I'm telling you, this is not just something that you hear at a conference. This is not just some idea where I want you to go, oh, that was kind of interesting. This is our imperative. This is something that we need to do for us and for future generations. The future of our industry is not in asset allocation. The future of our industry is not in the price of an ETF. The future of our industry is how we as humans help other humans get paid all that they are worth so that they can use their money to have the lives that they want. And we can do this. Thank you.